want to just welcome everybody. Welcome everybody to today's presentation. Just a couple of housekeeping things. If you could just put yourselves on mute as the presentation is going on, and then feel free to unmute yourself to ask any questions, or you could use a text chat and we'll relay questions to David. So that's pretty much it. I just want to welcome David Cohen back to present today for us. I know this topic came to our attention and it's really important things to think about. So we appreciate you coming in today and presenting.
Oh, pleasure. And also we're going to have breakout rooms. So hopefully there you can unmute yourself. I just need to make sure I've got that. Hang on. I'm trying to get the breakout room thing. Oh, well, I'll figure it out. So welcome, everybody. Any other housekeeping or everybody's good? There's Sean. Welcome, Sean. Let me, I know what I have to do. There we go. I'm just getting my PowerPoint ready here, everybody. So bear with me. There we go. And I'm showing screen and slideshow. There we go. So real quick, I don't know, some of you should know me, some of you might not. So let's go around the room and just introduce yourself. So everybody knows Lori, right? And Carol, do you want a quick hello to some of the new people? And nice to see LA. You're up in Barrie, right, today? Yeah. So Carol, do you want a quick shout out?
Sure, I'm Carol. I have a few business going on. Driver's Ed for You, online driving school, Shopify store. I'm a business growth advisor for PARO. And if you have any questions, feel free to connect with me.
Wonderful. Okay, and LA.
Yes, hi.
Do you want to say a couple of words about?
Well, just hi, how are you? I'm in Barrie, Ontario, and I'm just starting out, but looking forward to continuing learning with you, David. Thank you.
Awesome. Nice to see you. And you should let people know you do admin work, right, for entrepreneurs?
Yeah, I do some admin work, and I'm in a very blessed position where I can take on certain clients and work when I need to.
Excellent. Good to see you again, and this is a few times, so it's nice. Now we're making friends with people. Tanya, if you want to just unmute and just say a couple of words about who you are, where you're from, what you're doing. Oh, look at you, and you're in your backyard working. I just have to unmute. There you go.
Hi there. My name is Tanya Moore Lynch, and I am actually live in Barrie, but I've been spending some time in Northern Ontario near Sault Ste. Marie, and I am specialized in educating and advocating for those with ADHD, and specifically entrepreneurs, as well as students with transition into from high school to post-secondary.
Wow.
And if anyone's interested in learning more, suspect they may have ADHD, it is the entrepreneur superpower.
Yeah,
and often, yeah, and women are often misdiagnosed or never get diagnosed. So there's a large possibility that people within this group could fit in that, that wonderful niche. And I do promote that it is a gift and not a curse. And when you are able to harness the wonderful benefits of it, great things can happen.
Yeah, thanks.
And I'm happy to join you all. Thank you.
Yeah, good to see you. And then Marilyn, I see. Marilyn, do you want to say a quick hello and
Hi, I'm Marilyn McMahon. And basically, you know what? I've been an entrepreneur in various capacities throughout my life. And I find that money has been issues, with at different times, etc. So, you know what? I just want to keep learning and learn how, to overcome and maybe help others.
beautiful. Thank you so much. And I'm going to go to Sean next. But before I do, Sean, Andrea asked Tanya, how do we know we have and then Tanya wants to know, and Tracy wants to know how to get in touch with you. So that's in the chat. Just go to the chat. And Carol also put her contact info in the chat as well. So on my screen, who do I see? I feel like Romper Room. I see Sean. So Sean, are you okay to just say a quick hi?
Absolutely. Good morning, everyone from Grafton, Ontario, where the sun is shining here as well. I make items out of willow, very sustainable product that I grow here myself. And I make everything from baskets and home and garden accessories right through to biodegradable coffins.
Wow. Amazing stuff she's doing.
I desperately need this class. So
Yeah.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. And Tracy, a quick hi on what you're up to. Tracy Rowe.
Hi, I'm Tracy. I own Ecological Landscapes. I do design, consultation, and project management. And I really have a strong dislike for social media, and I'm getting to the point where I might actually hire somebody, but I didn't budget for it because I didn't know Facebook was going to be as hard as it is now. So yeah, so right now my whole focus is on marketing and branding. That seems to be the way of the future here. So
Yeah, I'm with you about social media. I totally agree. Chantel, quick hello and
Hello, so I'm Chantal. I'm a business counselor for PARO and I am in Marathon. So behind me, I don't think you can see really well, but I get a nice view of Lake Superior right from my backyard all the time. So.
all right. Welcome. Nice to meet you. And I like the backyard. Angie, a quick hi and what you're up to.
Good morning, everybody. My name is Angie, and I'm really happy to be here. I have ADHD. My kids have been telling me for years, Mom, you have ADHD, and I finally realized that they were right. And it is a gift. I wouldn't be able to do the type of work I do if I didn't have this. So it's a total gift. I'm a consultant, so I'm a trainer, facilitator, and tarot card reader, and I'm a new business startup. I'm rolling all of that into one right now, and I'm really excited to be here. Thanks very much. Oh, David, I checked out your website last week. I just have to tell you really quickly. I was so impressed with the way you have your collaboration. The whole thing is great, but I love the collaboration that you have at the end with all of the people you work with. It really inspired me to do that for my own website. So
awesome. Thanks. And talking about tarot, tomorrow's the eclipse, right? So if we're feeling a little weird today, that could be it. Sherry Whitehurst.
Good morning, everybody. Happy to be here this morning with you all. My name is Sherry. I'm just a new to entrepreneur, and I'm hoping to start my own artesian ice cream shop.
Wow, sweet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're all going.
I hope so.
Yep. And Suzanne Milne.
Hello, I am in Sault Ste. Marie. I too am a business counselor with PARO, and I am here today because I heard you do a dynamite presentation.
Aw. Thanks, Lori. Lori, the check's in the mail, okay? Karen, thank you, Suzanne. Or Susan, sorry. Karen A.
Hi, I'm new to PARO and been working with Lori. I do social network analysis. I help professors at the university with their research. And about a year ago during COVID, I thought, well, maybe I should try to get contracts outside of academic work. So I've been working on a business format. I've got all my drafts and notes and everything ready. And I just registered a business name last week. So my new business is called Illumalink.
Wow.
Illuminating the links in social networks.
Awesome. Thanks, Karen. Way to
Yeah.
go. Congrats. And Barbara, real quick, hello. And
I've been referred to as a serialpreneur, so I don't know. My son says as long as it's not serial killer, we're okay. I have a business called Something, which stands for Students Understanding Money. So I teach basic money management to university and high school students. I teach technology to seniors, how to use their iPads and cell phones. Estate planning. I opened and created the Women of Manitoulin Entrepreneur Network for all business women on Manitoulin Island. And my PARO Circle was the winner of the PARO Circle of the Year.
way to
So,
go.
yeah.
Wow. Sweet. What great vibe and energy. And look at where you're turning out, Lori. It's amazing. Like, this is amazing. Deborah, good morning to you. Deborah Hebert.
Good morning. I'm Deborah Bear. I started just recently my own business of Syringa Bee, and it's supporting people for their computer needs, whether it's learning how to use Outlook or any one of the three platforms, from the Apple product to Google's to the Microsoft. And if they need any soft skill support, managing their data or understanding how to proceed on searching for stuff, just basic things that a lot of people miss at some point. And my business plan is similar, where I'm trying to help people set up for success for themselves. So I'm working myself out of business every time. So hopefully there's lots more of those out there.
Oh yeah, there are. Margaretta.
And I enjoy your sessions, which is why I'm here again today.
Thanks. Thank you. Margaretta, welcome back to you.
Hi. So I'm just starting. I'm brand new, although I've been in counseling field for 30 years. Now I'm branching out onto my own, but I'm also including hypnotherapy, and I do EMDR combined with hypnotherapy for trauma, post-traumatic stress and complex trauma, which I have a lot of experience in from my work. Also, I do energy healing and coaching and training. I used to teach at a college too, so I'm combining all that now in my business.
Excellent. Welcome.
Thank you.
Nice to see you again. Zerlina, are you okay to unmute real quick? Okay, just for time. Oh, there we are. Hey.
My name is Zerlina Whitecrow. I'm one of the program workers in St. River First Nation. I've been involved with PARO for quite some time now. We have a little circle. We haven't done actually too much movement, but we do have a few women entrepreneurs in the community, and I just figured I'd put this out there so that we could gather today and listen to your wise words.
Oh, thanks.
And see if you can help us out. So
thanks.
We're glad to be here today. So.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. And who's the Boston Bruin fan?
That's me. I'm the Bruins fan.
Okay. All right. They're in tough against, I think they're playing the Islanders, so we'll see what happens. Andrea, are you okay to, there we go.
Yeah, you bet. So I'm Andrea, and I'm also a PARO counselor out on the west side of Ontario, and I also have had my own business for 15 years. So money blocks have come and gone, and no matter where you are in your business. So and I've heard great things about your webinars, David. So this is my first.
Thanks. And we're almost done. I think. Thank you, Andrea, and Sam G, and then Renee. And I think
Hi, I'm in Pickering, Ontario, and I have a background in medical admin management and teaching adults. And right now I'm looking into figuring out how to start my own business. I'm also a published author, and I was looking kind of to do something in that area, maybe doing some sort of speaking about my book and experience and things like that, but I'm not sure yet what kind of business and how to set it up. So that's why I'm here. Thanks, David.
You're welcome. Sounds like more of a consulting business, consulting and teaching.
Okay.
Yeah, that's that. I don't know. That's kind of what I'm getting. And maybe even with your book, you can, do like Facebook Live events and share a page or a chapter of your book and get a following that way, and people can, see what you do and,
Okay.
and learn about your book, or you can post these things on YouTube. Just food for thought down the road, right?
Thank you.
You're welcome. And did I get everybody? Marilyn or Renee? Renee.
Hey, hi there. Hi, yes, I'm Renee. I've been a freelance communicator and journalist for over 20 years in Durham region, based in Ajax, and I have just renamed my business Expressing You Communications. So it's really about, yes, authentically expressing your unique message and elevating it. So yes, and that takes the form of everything from counseling, consulting, writing, editing, voice acting, and speaking.
Wow.
So yes.
Okay. You might run into me down at the lake.
All right.
At Rotary Park.
All right, good
So
stuff.
if you do, be sure to say hi. Okay, let's get going. I know we've chewed up a lot of time, but let's get going. There we go. I'm going to share my screen. Okay. So money blocks. Woo. And by the way, check in the chat because people are saying hi and commenting. Money, and I'll check too. Money blocks that hinder entrepreneurs and what you can do to overcome them. That's the title for today, June the 9th already. I can't believe it. It's like it's going so fast. So here are some of the money blocks that really do get in our way. These are the 3 key money blocks. Number 1, underpricing, not charging what you're worth. Number 2, guilt or shame. We have guilt or shame around charging or around money. And number 3, self-sacrifice. There's that sort of like, yeah, but they really need my help and they don't have money and I'm just going to do it anyway, right? So these are the 3, and we're going to just explore them a little bit. So money block number 1, not charging enough. This is actually the number 1 cause of overwhelm and burnout with product and service-based entrepreneurs, which is kind of scary because what happens is you're doing all this work and you're not feeling the worth of it. You're not feeling or getting the full value from all the work you're doing. And what that leads to is it does lead to burnout and overwhelm because you're doing so much by yourself and you're not making enough money. You're not charging enough money to get help from other contractors or other people to help you do what you do. So it really behooves you to charge enough so that maybe you can hire out or contract out and get people helping you or working with you on a part-time or contingency basis. So that money block number 1, not charging enough, that really kills a lot of business owners over time. And then, then the other thing is you're undercharging and you're over delivering, and that also doesn't feel good. And that will also lead to a little bit of burnout and not feeling great. So these money blocks all come from our limiting beliefs about money and our stories about money. And I remember, so my background is I do teaching and coaching and a lot of work with entrepreneurs and, but a number of years ago in Durham region for my Pickering and Ajax people, I used to host a radio show every Sunday morning on CKDO 1580 called the Small Business Big Idea Show. And one of my first sort of big guests, because to me he was big, was Michael Gerber, and he's the author of The E-Myth Revisited. Not sure if you read that book, but it's still pretty pertinent, and it's a must-have book for entrepreneurs. So when I interviewed him, I talked to him about money, and he shared a little information about money. And this really changed my money story. He said, we never have enough money. Even if we do, even if we are rich, we never have enough. It's never enough. And I went, yeah, he's right. He's right. We never have enough. And it's like, then what am I complaining if I'm, you know, in company with everybody else who feels the same way, that there's never enough money? And I remember also doing landmark education, doing the form, which is a personal growth workshop worldwide. The book is The E-Myth Revisited, Margareta. And yeah, The E-Myth Revisited. Anyway, I remember doing the form. And in the form, it's a personal growth weekend. You go on Friday, you go Saturday, Sunday. It's all day too. It's really exhausting. But you collapse every aspect of your life, and one of the biggest aspects is time and money. We have a story about time and money, and the two things about time and money is I never have enough. I never have enough. So you have to retrain your brain to think a little differently and say, I have enough money. The money's coming. Watch your languaging. Your language creates your reality. So how do we transform not being able to charge enough? Well, number one, recognize it. Recognize it. Own it. It's okay. You're okay. We're all okay, people. Right? It's funny. I was having a conversation yesterday with a colleague of mine from North Carolina, and we were talking about the personal growth field. And what we felt was the personal growth field. I mean, it's good. It's, I'm not knocking it, but for some reason, all these coaches and trainers and speakers are tapping into our weakness, the thing we're not good at, right? So we're not enough. And I'm here to say you are enough. You can be even better, right? Things can be even better. So you are enough, you can be better. So first of all, recognize you got a money story. Recognize that, yeah, maybe I'm not charging enough. And own it. It's okay. It's all right. So where does this come from? When did you develop that story? Think back. Some people develop stories when they were 2 or 3. I got programming from my mom, God bless her. She's passed away. But the programming was from her father, and her father was a tailor in England. And he was around, in the Second World War or just before. And that was a, pretty interesting time, right, in the world at that time. And his line was, you've got to cut your suit by the cloth you're given. And so what that means in a money context is it means that you've got to use what you have wisely, kind of thing, right? So you have to ration, you have to be mindful. There's only this much to go around. So just be aware of where does that money story come from? And then just look at it. So recognize it, own it, understand where it comes from, and then identify, like, what's that money block costing you? The idea of not charging enough, what's that costing you personally, emotionally, professionally, financially? Because there's cost. And you have to almost, like, for change to happen, you got to be so, like, that's it, I've had it, I got to make a change, right? And you got to get to that point, and it's okay. Remember, whenever you're going through change or you want to shift a belief or a pattern, you're okay. Everything's okay. Also, decide too, in your business, who do I want to work with? Do you want to be in the low end, the mid range, or the high end? Right? And so there's a lot like that. This is a whole other course. But once you decide what market you want to work in, if it's low end, mid range, or high end, that's going to determine your overall business and marketing and sales approach. And that'll also detail sort of the money you can expect to make. So what you need to do is you want to design your business around the ideal customer that you want to go after. So if it's a low end customer, you're going to have to talk a different language. You're going to have more transactions, right? Or you're going to have to have frequent people, like those low end customers buying frequently. If it's mid range, less transactions, more upscale service, maybe fewer transactions. And if it's high end, like think of a real estate agent. If they sell a $3 million home and they specialize in high end homes, they only really have to sell what, 6 homes to make a decent income. But if you're selling sort of a lower end home, you're going to have to sell more. So you have to design your business around the ideal customer that you want to work with. And here's the thing, once you recognize it, once you own it, once you know where this story, the money story is coming from, there's nothing to do it but to do it. So to change it, you just have to do it, and you have to practice and practice and practice until it becomes like you've adopted a new belief and a new actions around money. So what I want you to talk about here is, what's one belief you have that holds you back? What's one big belief you have around money that holds you back? And just chime in if you want to put it in the chat or you want to unmute yourself.
I could go. I think one belief is people look at their competitors and they try to go lower than their competitors, which sometimes backfires, because now, like, most people will go, why is that one so low compared to the other ones, right?
Yeah.
So we kind of, sometimes that can hurt more than anything else.
Yeah. Thanks, Carol. Yeah.
I have one that holds back. It's I believe because it's become so easy for me that it must be easy for everyone else. So why would they want to pay much for it? Right. Not realizing the more I myself to people that need my help, it's not that easy. I've just been doing it that long.
Yeah. So we almost diminish our value and our worth because it is so easy. But it's not easy to other people, right? What you do, some people kind of look at you and are in awe. How do you do what you do, right? So we have to step back and realize our worth. And when it's easy, you're in total flow and you're in the abundance of the universe, right? So enjoy that. Thank God it's easy for you. That's your gift. Yeah. Anybody else? Sam G says, more money, more problems. Maybe.
I specialize in landscape design, and I'm going up against installation companies who also offer design on top of that. So I'm wrestling with the idea that why would somebody want to pay for me when an installation company will do it for free?
Right. So you have to ask really good questions of your customer. And one of them is, what's your budget? And then if you can be in their budget, then you got it. You got the deal. The thing is, we don't know. We don't know what the customer finds valuable. We don't know maybe the customer doesn't like the other person, right? Maybe they like you. They like the fact that you're a woman in business, and that's really important in this day and age, So maybe they like your way, or the fact that you're creative, or you work harder. So there's other elements, other pieces that you bring to the table. And it's really important to recognize them and to ask the client, what do they want? What do they want? What's their budget? What would they, how would it, what's the outcome they want to have? What matters to them? And when you're clear, you can deliver a package that totally suits the customer. So don't be afraid to ask the customer, hey, what's your budget? I remember working with a buddy of mine, a colleague. He's based out of Pittsburgh. He's a trainer and consultant and has a training company, Jeff Tobe. And he, when I was in his workshops, he would say that the first question he'll ask the client is, what's your budget? Do you have a budget? And if they don't have a budget, then maybe they're not a good fit right now. Down the road, yeah. So he'll stay in touch, but he'll ask the client, what's the budget? I'm just going into the chat. Shane, being called or seen as greedy. Right. So we're gonna collapse that in a second. Attacks, feeling people don't want to pay for mental health services. Also not having a PhD. Okay. And people say it's too much even with my prices being low. All right. So these are really, I'm with Deborah, hugely limiting. Margarita, that's where I was going with my comment. Excellent. All right. So some really tough limiting beliefs around money. So with that one money block, I want to tap into author, speaker. She's amazing. Byron Katie. And she wrote one of her first books was called Loving What Is. And in it, she talks about the work. And the work is this program she was developed back then. And it encompasses 4 questions. And you see, this is her book cover. 4 questions that can change your life. So let's go back to some of those money blocks. And you said that people think you're greedy. So here's the thing I want you to ask yourself. Is that true? Are you greedy? You don't have to say no. Can you absolutely know that it's true? How do you react? And what happens when you believe that thought? And this is the kicker. Who would you be without that thought? Who would you be if you weren't, you didn't believe you were greedy? Who would you be? Right? So this is one way to get over your limiting beliefs. This is one really important thing. And is it true? So you're asking yourself, is my belief true? Am I greedy? Am I greedy all the time? Do I know that that's true? How do I react? How do I feel in my body? And then who would you be if you let that thought go? And the chance, so who'd like to answer that with one of your money blocks? Who would like to, work with me here and go through the 4 questions? Anybody? Any brave souls? Okay. Who's that?
Sam.
Okay. So what's your money block?
So this is where it's like the shame part, like when you start a business and then all of a sudden people are saying like, who are you? Like, and then you get the shame coming and it's like, how do you charge this much money? Like, why are you doing that? Maybe it should be free kind of thing.
Right. And free doesn't pay the bill,
Right.
Yeah. So, so that I don't know that these 4 questions would apply, but is it true that you're charging too much? Do you know it's true? How do you react? How do you react when somebody says that about you, Sam?
Well, I used to own my own sewing business before as well. So it wasn't true. And I could tell you it definitely, like what I was doing for the price that people were paying me, it was just breaking even most of the time. And my reaction to that was like, what the heck? Like, I'm putting all this work and energy and style and everything into your clothing and people are giving you rave reviews. So what's your problem? So that was how I felt. Like I reacted very, like I reeled back from it because I couldn't understand why people would want to shortchange you for tailored stuff. And then like, what would I be without that thought? Like I felt like I could do a lot more with myself, but it was just the shame that people would come pick up their stuff. But then it's like, yeah, I know you said $60, but here's 50. And it's like, what? So I did go through a lot of that. And these 4 questions I didn't know about at the time. So
yeah. So you got to stand up for yourself and you're worth it, right? Your work is worth it. And the key to also overcoming this is asking the client questions and really qualifying the client, right? And say, and being, here are our terms, here are the terms, here are the conditions of the sale, right? If you, and if you're not happy, then let us know. We'll work to make you happy, but you're going to like our service, right? So you have to really get clear as to what you're bringing to the table. And you also have to ask really good questions of your clients or prospects to see where they're at as it relates to buying your product or service. So that's really important. In terms of your this view that you're greedy or you're charging too much, I had a client that I coached when I was working in Whitby a number of years ago with the Ontario Self-Employment Benefit Program. She's still in business. Her name is Tara, and she was 21 years old, and she was in this training program. It was a government training program, similar to what you're doing with PARO. And so she was one of our younger participants, because say the average age was about 40, 45, and she was starting a home staging business. And what she ran up against with real estate agents, and most real estate agents are quite a bit older than 21, was that she's too young. What kind of experience do you have? Right? And she said, as a way to overcome it, you're right. I am too young, or not I am too young. I am young. However, she got clear as to what she brings to the table, what she offers to the client. And she said, you're right, I am young. There's no getting away from that. Or, yes, you're right. It may look like I'm maybe overcharging, but here's what I bring to the table. So she said, I am young, real estate agent, but with being young, I'm hungry. I'm starting a new business. I want to do well by my customers. I'm creative. I've got passion. I bring energy. I bring new ideas. So if you want to work with somebody like that, I'd love to work with you. So it's really important to get your worth and be able to communicate it. Okay? But in future, try this. Try the 4 questions. It's brilliant work, and it's by Byron Katie. You can read up on her. She's got videos on YouTube. She's great. So you need to change. You need to visualize and believe your worth. You have to shift your mindset, right? That we're not worthy, or there's shame in charging, or these are just stories that we picked up along the way. It's like, you imagine every time you go to a restaurant and you take home a chair, and then you go to another restaurant, you take home another chair, you'd be carrying around chairs. That's like the baggage we carry with these stories. So you need to let it go. How are you doing? Everybody's good? I hope. I'm going to show you about a 3.5 minute video. Turn up your speakers. I'll just make sure this is turned up all the way. And this it begins to come to you. You become the board. Oh, I'm just going to pause it. This is Dr. Joe Dispenza, who wrote a beautiful book called Becoming Supernatural. And he's really he's a master. He's so hot right now for a few years. And he's about visualizing, the power of visualizing what you want and seeing yourself, having it and being grateful for having it before you even have it. So this is about changing your beliefs and the power of visualization. Here goes. Text or the magnet to your destiny. So then people who come out of their meditation and they say, well, I just focused on my wealth. Why isn't it there? Well, you're not that good. If you're asking why isn't it there, you're back to the old person again. Stay in that state for an extended period of time as an experiment, as the scientist in your life, to keep your energy connected to the dream of your future. And then see what kind of effects begin to take place without moving into impatience, without moving into frustration, without starting to analyze why it hasn't happened or when. That is the trap of defining reality with your senses. So you have the thought of your future and you don't see it, and you experience separation. The people who are practicing this work, they have the thought of their future and they feel the emotion of their future. They're still connected to it, right? So that takes practice. And it's just learning, like hitting a golf ball, hitting a tennis ball, dancing the salsa, crocheting, whatever it is. You gotta start out
staying real conscious and learning. Then you get good at it, and it gets to be instrumental. It gets to be fun, and that's what I want for everybody. That the act of creation should be a blissful, ecstatic, loose, free process, and so I love the idea of people taking time out of their lives to prove to themselves that if they're defined by the vision of the future, then they're not living by the memories of the past. And that's where the unknown exists. So many people, the unknown is a scary place. So they don't see that future because they're used to seeing that future with evidence with their senses. And you have to be able to get beyond that and stay in the unknown, stay in that discomfort, and then in that moment to begin to self-regulate. Like, oh, I'm starting to feel a little anxiety. Ooh, I'm starting to feel a little frustration. That's the defining moment where your body's going back to the past, because emotions are a record of the past. Or you go into routine again. So you catch yourself. It's a victory. And if you keep catching yourself, those victories add up. And it's not so much about your wealth or your health or your freedom or your new relationship. It's actually about who you become. And so overcoming the old self allows us to become somebody else. And there is that period of transition. I call it the void, where there's just not a lot happening. And you just got to be able to keep going and continuously get to the end of your belief, where most people stop. I just had a fabulous conversation with someone this weekend. Broke through to the other side, and now there's so much magic happening around this person, but she's worthy now to receive it. And that is the key, because the universe only gives us what we think we're worthy of receiving. So we got to come initiated into this and understand that thousands of years of programming that says that we have to change things matter to matter, in three-dimensional reality, and it will take time. But to begin to connect to that resource called the quantum field and create from the field instead of from matter, there's a lot of unlearning that has to go on. Now it begins.
There you go. What do you think? I'm going to check the chat. Comments on that? I love Joe Dispenza. Me too. Yeah. So we're going to get you. It is powerful. So what he's saying is you got to collapse your past and your beliefs. And you have to visualize and become what you want. So if your beliefs are, oh, I'm greedy, or people think I'm this, or I got called a shyster once. And this is a long time ago, mind you. And it's like, I'm not a shyster, So I had to let go of that. That's somebody else's, impression or feeling about me, but they don't even know who I am, right? So it's like, okay, or I have to discuss it with that person and say, I'm sorry you feel like that. Why? What is it about? What did I do for you to be like that? So you have to sort of look at your past, recognize it, own it, and say, I'm going to choose something different. I'm going to choose a new belief. And don't get impatient. Don't get like, oh, it's not happening. Just, it takes time. It takes a little bit of time, but keep making, moves and acting as if you're abundant and you're worth it and you bring value and you do great work. Okay? So I'm going to get you into breakout rooms and group I think group one, you're going to discuss these. So group one, you're going to discuss what gift are you getting from having your money block that we talked about, and does it serve you or your business? Group two, you're going to discuss these. What do you want money-wise? Are you willing to shift this limiting belief? And what belief would you have to let go of, like the Byron Katie thing, in order to let go and create a more empowering mindset or belief about money? So that's group one and group two. And group three, you're going to discuss these. To charge more and let go of your money story, who would you have to be? What would you have to say yes to? And what would you have to say no to? So just write these down. So group one, you're going to discuss these. What gift are you getting from this money block? Maybe you're not getting any gift. Does it serve you? Group two, what do you want? Are you willing to shift this limiting belief? What belief would you have to let go of to create a more empowering mindset? And group three, to charge more, who would you have to be? What would you have to say yes to? And what would you have to say no to? All right. So I'm going to get into your breakout rooms. I think we're all set. Yeah, we have 3 groups. Unmute yourself and, and participate. You got 5 minutes and a 60-second countdown. Coming down in 3, 2, 1. Have fun. We'll see you on the back end. Who's with me here? Marilyn, are you okay? Do you want to be in a room?
No, I don't. Only because, sorry, it's just because I'm listening to you, but I have to focus on other things in my job. So I'm, yeah. But you know what? It's impressive. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for being here.
I know, it's great. I get on them whenever I can.
Oh, beautiful. This is brand new material for me. Hey, Lori.
Hey, David.
So I hope you didn't hear that. It's brand new material, but I'm excited.
Oh, yeah?
About this. Yeah, that's why I was excited.
Oh, good.
Yeah, because I really gave it thought. Like when I prepare this, it's like, I want to give it like my best, right? So,
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Well, it's really lots of information to think of, really. But, and everybody is at different stages or feelings, right? So it has enough information here for, you know what I mean, to accommodate all those feelings.
Yeah, exactly. I sent the everything in to like yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cross my fingers.
Yeah.
I don't know how they feel about hiring a man, but I hope that won't get in the way. Because I have 3 older sisters.
Awesome.
I couldn't get a bathroom as a kid. Oh, they got their hair to do and the makeup, and it's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And growing up, like I grew up in Ottawa, our first house, we only had 1 bathroom.
Have you always been in that area, like where you are now, or were you somewhere?
Oh,
before?
no. Then we moved out into the West End.
Okay.
And then we had 2.5 baths. So it's like,
yeah.
You. Right. And now I'm in North York. So.
Okay.
Oops.
Oh, somebody came back early.
Oops, I didn't mean to.
It's okay.
I was trying to get rid of that, and I guess I got myself out of it.
No worries. Anything you need to discuss, or?
Yeah, we were doing question 2. Yeah, okay. So I didn't even have a chance to say mine because I did that. I don't know what.
Okay.
I'm on my phone, so it's a little bit it's a little bit challenging, but yeah, this is funny because it's funny timing because I just had this conversation this morning with a friend of mine because I'm charging way too low for my services, and people are still not wanting to pay it. And so I was on a training with my mentor who's in the UK, and he's a hypnotherapist. So he said he did his little Jedi thing on me, and he said, "Yeah, you're not going to change your prices. You're still stuck in that mindset." And he was right. I was like, "Holy man, yeah." So I've got to do something different here because this isn't working out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thanks, Margarita. Is everybody
Thank you.
back yet? Yeah, everybody's back. Okay, welcome back. We're just talking about changing your mindset about pricing and, you know, a couple of ideas there, Margarita, if I can share with you.
Yeah.
One is ask the client, you know, what's your budget? What, you know, the other thing is you want to mine for pain, you know, like, so I always do when I teach selling and when I do my sales, I like to book what's called a discovery session with my client first. And I'm going to ask them questions about their current situation and what they want to change or what they're not happy with or what their challenge is. And if the challenge is big and it's costing them money and well-being and they're losing sleep, then they're going to find a way to pay for that. Okay. So
Do you charge for that?
Not for my first session. I should, I suppose, but I don't. So you want to mine for pain. The more pain you can solve, the more money you make. So I'll give you an example. If I said, Marguerite, I'll give you $100,000 to walk a tightrope from the CN Tower to the TD Bank building, would you do it?
No.
No, too much risk. But what if I said, God forbid, your kids were on the other side? What would you do?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would do it.
Because there's more, or you find a way to do it, right?
Yeah.
So there's more pain. And so if you can mine the pain or what is it that the client really, really wants, they'll find the money. They'll find the money. Okay. And so it's really important to ask your clients really good questions about where they're at, what they want, and what they're committed to, and what's their budget. And look, if it's a less budget, then have tiers. You know, hey, then you might want our first tier. It doesn't even cost as much, that much, and you'll get an idea of our work. And if you're happy, we can move you to the second tier and then the third tier, so you can have price points and packages, right?
That's good. I like that.
Yeah. So group one, who is in group one? What gift are you getting from your money block, and does it serve you or your business?
I'll speak because
Excellent, Sam. Thank you.
One of the things that I mentioned was that when I was writing my book, I didn't tell anyone.
Oh, Mom, I put that cookie dough in the fridge just in case it.
Oh.
Thanks, Tanya.
When I was writing my book, I didn't tell anyone until it was done. And then after I did publish it, and then I told my friends and so on, like I lost a lot of people around me, like I don't have them anymore. So in my group, Deborah brought up a really good point, and she said that, her daughter, she gave an example about her daughter, and she said, you know what, choose your own people, choose your own tribe, surround yourself with those people that are going to be right for you to help you move forward. And then also Andrea said, you know what, the right people are right here, which is in PARO, which I'm actually meeting quite a few people that I can, really talk to and everything. And then Sean mentioned something that, like the gift, which I thought about it after she said that, really good, is to stay humble and not, allow, I guess, don't be so high on yourself, but just stay humble. So that's what we talked about.
Excellent. Thanks, Sam. Thank you. And, next time you publish a book, you can do print on demand. And so people can order a book. And then I think Amazon does that. And
yeah, it's on demand right now.
Oh, perfect. So, that's okay. Or you can take orders, pre-orders, right? And then ship them out, sign them, mail it to them, that kind of thing. Group two, thank you, Sam. Group two, what do you want in terms of changing your money story? And are you willing to shift that limiting belief? And what belief would have you let go of, or to create a more empowering mindset and a more empowering belief? Who'd like to share that from group 2?
I'll go ahead.
Thanks.
So I think I was group 2. so, so what I would like to create is a really successful and abundant business that is super abundant. And I'm going to go to high-end clients now, David, after listening to you speak. But one of the things that holds me back is the shame about asking for money and charging for my services. And I decided to increase my prices recently, and I increased and and then I went back down again because it just didn't feel right. So those are things, we need to figure out why. And so I just changing my belief system basically is what's really important, is that I am worthy of charging for the services that I've been spending my entire life learning. And of course people are willing to pay, and I need to understand that people are willing to pay for the services that I have to offer. I don't have to give everything away for free. And one last thing is, I worked in nonprofit for many, many years. So I worked giving away things for free all the time. I mean, you didn't have that a constant exchange of money. You had your paycheck every 2 weeks. So it's really getting out of that mindset of working for a living versus living to work. And I love what I'm doing. And PARO is, Andrea, I think Sam said that PARO is our people. And I feel that so strongly. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Well, excellent. Thanks, Angie. Keep me posted, okay? And then group 3, who would you have to be to sort of charge more? What would you have to say yes to, and what would you have to say no to? Who'd like to speak from group 3? Anybody? Going once, twice, because I'm on a time constraint here.
Okay, we did talk about the fact that you'd have to be confident in your abilities and your skills and your knowledge, and you'd have to say yes to inviting those feelings in, like to acknowledging those, and no to that feeling of lack of I think I said unworthiness, that feeling of unworthiness.
Yeah. So say yes to your skills, your experience, your knowledge, your value, your creativity, and then say no to the lack of that, right? Is that right, Tracy?
Yes.
Excellent. Excellent. Yeah. So the next block is guilt and shame. And many women entrepreneurs, men too, by the way, we're not exempt from these. But many women entrepreneurs deal with this, and it's a very common money block, specifically guilt and shame about making a lot of money, or what's considered a lot, right? We heard it, people think I'm greedy. It's personal to every entrepreneur, and it's tied into whatever we've experienced, seen, or been taught in the past, or have adopted throughout our lives. So we need to really recognize that and then begin to shift. And money, guilt, and shame manifest in a variety of ways, including not keeping money or chasing it away. So we sabotage ourselves, right? Oh, I don't deserve this. And here's the thing: you do deserve it. God wants you to be rich. You're better being rich and abundant and successful, and then you can share that with other people. I see Carol. I spoke to Carol this week. We had a nice conversation. Thank you, Carol, by the way. And Carol is like, she's got an abundant mindset. Oh, that didn't work. I'm going to try this, or I'm going to try something new. And I love that thinking, right? And now Carol's helping other people because she's doing business advisory work with PARO. Like, I love that. Carol's got an abundant mindset, and you have to just shift that mindset a little bit. So I'm just going to go to the chat before I go to the screen. Welcome. Sean says, to clarify, I don't see much on being high on yourself or humble and open. I'll get to that. It's okay to be high on yourself, but it's okay to be humble too. It's a balancing act, Sean, but I'll get to that. And thanks for sharing that in the chat. So there's I'm sure you've all heard of Brene Brown as well. She wrote The Gifts of Imperfection, Dare to Be Great. She's always, one of Oprah's favorite guests. And she says about guilt and shame, there's a profound difference between shame and guilt. Guilt is adaptive and helpful. It's holding on to something we've done or failed to do against our values, and we feel psychological discomfort. So to me, guilt, it doesn't achieve anything. It just makes you feel bad. Whereas shame it's an intensely painful feeling that you experience, right? And then you start to believe you're flawed, or there's something wrong with me, or I'm unworthy of love, or I'm unworthy of money or belonging. And it's usually shame is from an experience that we've had or something we failed to do that makes us unworthy of the connection. So Brene Brown says, I don't believe shame is helpful or productive. In fact, I think shame is much more likely to be the source of destructive behavior, hurtful behavior, than the solution or cure. And there's also a fear of disconnection to source, to God, to abundance, that can make it dangerous. So just understand shame is not productive, and guilt, having guilt, you have to let go of it. You have to come to terms or peace or forgiveness for yourself and for the other person. And right the wrong, right the wrong. So I'm just going to show you another video real quick. It's about 3 or so minutes. Whoa. And it's an interview. Yeah, it's 2 minutes. And it's Brene Brown on shame, and she's here with Oprah. So let's move through our shame and guilt.
So I love this question. You mentioned gremlin thinking. This is from Allison Smella. You mentioned gremlin thinking. What's the silent language to move that aside and step into authenticity? Good question.
So men and women who had high levels of shame resilience, meaning they could totally acknowledge and move through shame without jeopardizing their authenticity, had 4 things in common. The first was they know what triggers shame for them. They know what the triggers are. Like for me, I know what the triggers are. I have stuff around motherhood and balancing work. I have stuff around appearance. Secondly, huge skill, you can reality check them. 3, you reach out and share your story. And 4, you speak shame. So just to boil it down, it's 3 totally counterintuitive things. Talk to yourself like you talk to someone you love when you're feeling unworthy. How would I talk to Ellen and Charlie in a moment of unworthiness? Would I ever, I would say to myself, God, you're so stupid, Renee. What were you thinking? Would never talk to my kids that way. Talk to yourself like you talk to someone you love. Reach out to someone you trust and tell your story. Shame cannot survive being spoken. It needs 3 things to just absolutely grow exponentially.
Yeah, that's why secrets really intensify the shame. And you're as sick as your secrets, because when you're ashamed, you keep it a secret, and that just sort of festers and ends up really overwhelming your life. The shame, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. But when you release it, that's why all those years on the Oprah show, when people come on and share things that they never shared with anybody else, you leave and you feel freer. You feel unburdened by some of it. Yes.
Absolutely. Secrecy is one of the 3 things. Secrecy, silence, and judgment. Those are the 3 things shame needs to grow exponentially in our lives. The antidote, empathy. It cannot survive being spoken and being met with empathy.
Yeah, so interesting, eh? What do you think? True? So you have to speak it, own it, and share it. You're not alone. Like we're not. We all. It's part of the human conditioning. Carol says true, and yeah, this is part of the human conditioning. We all have these feelings of, of not being good enough, but then we have to replace it and go, no, we're good enough. We deserve it, right? Yet still, as Sean alluded to, and this is really important actually, Sean, to believe in yourself, but still be humble. And I'm going to get to this at the end. So self-sacrifice is one of those money blocks that ties up several areas. Again, not feeling good enough, Lack of boundaries. We have to set boundaries with our clients. I always discuss when I go and I make a sales presentation, I'll discuss the terms and conditions. We need to be paid in 30 days, right? Or, we need, you want to get sign off, you want to get an agreement. You have to take care of yourself. It's the old airplane thing, with the oxygen goes down in the cabin of the aircraft. Do you put the oxygen mask on you or your kid? You first. So if you're alive and well, you can take care of your child, right? Yeah, we're almost done. So I'll just be real quick, Lori. Yeah, so we want to watch perfectionism. Perfectionism can kill things. Your idea of perfect is not somebody else's. There's also insecurity, and watch this. I just want to help people. I'm not trying to make money. Well, why not do both? Help people and make money. I'll skip the breakout room and I'll just get to sort of the end. Remember, keys to accepting yourself and shifting your view of money. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Remember, the pain you solve for your customer, the more pain you solve for your customer, the more money you make. Ask the client questions before you offer. Don't people say, well, what do you charge? Don't tell them. I'll ask, what's your budget? What are you thinking of? Give me a range. I can work something out that's going to be a win-win, right? You want a win-win relationship with people. Remember your value. What are the benefits to hiring you? Remember the home stager. Well, I'm creative and I try new things and I work hard and I'm really excited, and passionate. That's her value. What are you bringing to to your client? Know your market. Know who your ideal client is. Watch your pain, shame, guilt. Right? It's okay. And you can even say to your client, "Look, this is what's happening for me. This is triggering me." I remember getting fired a long time ago, and when I got fired, um, I got real with my boss or the woman that was my manager, and she said, "Well, what are you going to do now?" And I said, truthfully, I don't know, And I said, yesterday I had before I knew I was going to get fired that week, the day before. I actually didn't go to work because I had to work things out in my head because I knew I was going to lose my job. Then what my shame is, well, I'm a man. I should be, responsible, right? And I got coaching, and the coach said, talk to your inner child. And my inner child was afraid. Was afraid of being without. Was afraid of maybe going homeless because I'm losing my job or whatever it is. And so I told that woman that was my manager, I said, look, I talked to my inner child yesterday, and this is really affecting me. And what happened was she fired me, and I knew I was going to get fired, and I wanted to be fired so I can get EI. And then she said, well, I kind of feel bad for you. Why don't we keep you on with 10 clients throughout the summer? So this was April. I got to continue on with some work. So I had some work throughout the summer with 10 clients to coach. So it was like, it kind of worked out in a really weird, wild way, just by being real and authentic. And you'd be amazed. I remember seeing a client. I was late one day, and I was going through a bad divorce, unfortunately, and I said, I'm sorry I'm late. It's been a rough. By Fred said it's a rough time for Scorpios, and this client was a new client. She said, "Oh, that's funny. I'm a Scorpio too, and you're right, right." So by being real with people, you can bring down the blocks. You can bring down the shame. You can, ratchet down the guilt, and you can get past any of your blocks. And remember, God wants you to be rich. It's your ego that keeps you stuck, right? So just to wrap up, this is about being humble. Here are the keys to wealth. Number one, serve greatly. Up your game with meaning, impact, and be cutting edge. Serve people greatly. Live simply. Good money management isn't about being, isn't about rich, right? It's the richness inside of you that matters. Whoa. So, you know, give it all you have. You know, when you feel good about yourself that you gave everything you had, you did a really good job, you know, that's good money, and you got paid well for it. That's good money management, that you made an impact, that you made a difference. Give generously. What goes out comes back. Give generously. Embrace new beliefs and envision, do your vision work. Envision money and success coming in. Connect to source. Meditate. Visualize. Be in gratitude. Thank you. Thank you for the new car. Thank you for the client that's paying me so well, right? Feel it. Allow yourself to have the money and the success and go on. You know, you can go on not charging enough and struggle, or you can shift that. So, you know, start to shift that thinking. You deserve it. Your client deserves it. And the right clients are going to want to work with you. They're going to see the value in what you do. Carol says in the chat, maybe lower your package hours so they don't get the full deal, but they get a sample. Yeah, exactly. So that does it for us. We just didn't do a breakout session, but it's okay. Have a really good day, everybody. This is where you get a hold of me. I hope you learned something. Tap into those thinkers and, you know, Brene Brown and her work, and tap into Joe Dispenza. And I just wish you a really good day, and summer's coming, and a good summer, and hopefully we'll see you soon. This is where you get a hold of me if you want. And any last bit of business before we wrap?
I just want to say thank you. I'm sorry, everybody. If you have any questions though for David, you could reach out to him. We just have another webinar, which you're more than welcome to. We'll just have to leave this room, come back to the next one. It's a circle discovery workshop that PARO has. So you're more than welcome to attend. It's the same link that you used for this one. Anyways, thank you so much, David, for this. Really appreciate it. Okay. Thanks everybody for joining us.
I'm gonna make you host again, okay?
Okay, sounds good. So thanks everybody, and we'll see you. Have a great day, or we'll see you at the next workshop. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.